In this video, I'm showcasing the latest MOC I've built. It's a fantasy forest with a band of forestmen, minifigures, and minifigures from the latest Dungeons & Dragons minifigure series. These little goblins down below. I've used their helmets on the forestman minifigure, as well as the Wolfpack Rogue minifigure from the series 16. I've also got this flying demon child. It's an elf torso, a forestman hat, and wings from series 23's CMF Dragon. I started building it with this lime green hill in the middle, and then started adding regular green below it. Using these slopes from the Lion Knight's castle, I extended it round before adding a base of dark green using a bunch of parts I found on the Pick a Brick wall at the Lego store. This tree in the middle is stolen from my other jungle build, but I still think it works great here. The printed birds also do really well here and match the forest. I got these as part of the Dungeons & Dragons forest minifigures. Now, I want you to imagine a sleek, high production quality, high budget, smooth turntable shot where the build rotates, almost magically spinning to reveal itself. Well, not everyone has a turntable. So here's what we've got. The hill has been covered with leaves in a sort of gradient from darker at the bottom to lighter at the top, with the more recent fern elements covering the front and some of the grass stem pieces on the top as well. I tried to keep all the flat areas more densely populated with plants than the covered areas to replicate real life. Under the hill we have a big cavity. This really isn't a very good hill. It's quite flimsy and falls apart pretty easily. So a tip of advice for any of you building a Lego hill, fill it in. Next I moved on to one of my favourite parts of building Lego, which is photography. Started with some shots of the minifigures in their forest, moving on to the birds, the forestmen, the wildlife, and the aliens I added hiding in the corner. Let me know if you noticed them before I pointed them out. Now this here is what photographers call dynamic lighting. And this is a poignant close-up. Next, I moved on to what photographers call portraits, taking photos of each of the minifigures individually and in small groups. Like this forestman minifigure here, the little gremlin guy here, and both gremlins looking evil together. This bird hopped out of focus just as I took the photo. It would have been a great wildlife shot. Next I moved on to some more dynamic shots with the trees acting as a foreground in the image. Some of them turned out pretty good. Let me know which one's your favourite photo in the comments below. I moved on to trying to get some thumbnail shots of all of the minifigures, but none of them really turned out until I got this one of the build as a whole. First, I rotated the image to line it up because my camera was skewed. Then I removed the stick before rotating the flying child to help it break free of the grid and adding a bit of colour to the image. That's all for this week. Make sure to subscribe and I'll see you next week for next episode.